This is my final showcase for Advanced Technologies. I will showcase the first project I made following the brief of engagement in Steam. Then I will showcase the second project I made with the brief of designing and developing a tool for virtual campus navigation. The project idea was a periodic table clicker collection merging game. This would combine games like Cookie Clicker and 2048 to make an interactive experience where students can learn about the periodic table, elements, and compounds. Moving on, the high concept decided was a UI-based interactive clicker collection merging game themed around the periodic table. Following this, the mockup will include different elements that appear on the screen depending on the certain key stage the player has selected. There will be more information on this later. The health of the element will be dependent on their atomic number, such as hydrogen being 1 and lithium being 3. When a player discovers a new element, a UI like the one shown will pop up. This element will then be added into their collection book, which can be referred back to later to see all the elements collected. This intrinsically motivates the student to keep learning. When hovering over an element, information will be displayed like shown on screen. You can combine elements to create compounds, such as 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen for H2O, or 4 hydrogen and 1 carbon for methane. These elements will then go into your backpack. Let's talk about some references that gave inspiration. References for this game are Cookie Clicker, Clicker Heroes, and merging games like 2048. Visuals shown are final representations. Showing on screen is UI from the final project, such as an inventory system with filling inventory slots, a key stage level system for different element unlocks for the student, and information for each element to help their learning. Multiple articles are available on the effects of gamification to improve a student's motivation and engagement towards STEAM topics. The self-determination theory links how humans are motivated in a game aspect. There's competence, autonomy, and relatedness. Element hunters will primarily focus on competence and autonomy. Here is a small demo of the current progress. Elements spawn in and you can shoot them. You then discover that element when you kill it, and you can find it in your collection book, although this is not a final prototype. An inventory system counts how many elements you have got, with stacking in place for the same elements. Atoms at the top would be useful for a shop system, not currently implemented in the game. This is a current data table system implemented into the game. The current trackable information for each element is the atomic number, the atomic symbol, the atomic weight, the atomic name, and the atomic category. Although more data will be added into the final prototype, such as the room temperature state and the spawning level, such as Key Stage 1 or Key Stage 2. This is the final draft of the project before the submission. There are different difficulties based on the age of the person playing the game. In the bottom left, you can see the person's key stage and the number of elements unlocked. Changing the difficulty changes the number of elements unlocked, with Key Stage 4 unlocking all the elements. This system is loosely based on the curriculum of what students need to learn at different key stages. I've added a system based on feedback to hold left click to shoot, which makes the game more playable. You have your inventory which has your elements, however there is another button for compounds. There is now an upgrade shop, which can be used to purchase upgrades to help progress, such as shoot damage, shoot speed, and atomic value. As you can see, you're able to purchase upgrades for each, and the price is scalar. If I now shoot, you can see more damage is done. I have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen now, so combining these together will make water, and it will show in the compounds inventory. A sorting system has been added to the inventory. When elements are removed, the inventory shifts to the company of this change. This also works with the crafting grid. This was a hard technical challenge to complete. Overall, the project itself turned out well. The initial proposal for this project was a UI-based clicker game where elements are collected. After research into popular games amongst children and feedback from playtesters, the project was then shifted to being a first-person shooter clicker game. After research into the AQA and government education curriculums, expansions upon the base idea were needed to include more specific curriculum details, such as the alkalinity or acidity of elements. Improvements to the crafting system could be added to further improve clarity. For example, adding a way to craft compounds back to their element counterparts. However, for the curriculum and prototype this wasn't needed. Although the main reason for the crafting was to teach the student about chemical compounds and the scientific name. There's no real use for these compounds apart from just existing within a prototype. Therefore, an expansion would be made to give compounds a use. My idea for the campus navigation is to make a Mario Kart style racing game where you can collect coins around the map to promote exploration. There will be checkpoints you can complete. The limitations is the whole UE campus may be out of question because it is quite a big space and I'm not familiar with the layout of it all. So I'm going to be focusing on Q Block just to begin with. And another one is how feasible is getting a nice feeling kart in Unreal, because I've tried already and it's quite hard to get the inputs properly. The project I'll be using is Unreal 5.3.2, as this has KS vehicles, which is going to help in making the vehicles. And project stretch plans will be a leaderboard and multiple carts. I've made a few attempts. One is with my own attempt, which it feels clunky to use, and then another one is using a already made vehicle that is a lot nicer to use and probably is something I'm going to go for more towards for the end of my project. Vehicle rigging in Blender. So that's what I'll be using. Idea is still for the Mario Kart style racing system for navigation around the university campus with exploration aspects. This week I've done research on Mario Kart, kart driving games, and feedback. For Mario Kart, I've looked into drifting mechanics and the visualization of where to go. For drifting mechanics, it's something that I want to be added into the game at some point. Consideration on the feel of the drifting has been done, and a decision was made to make the drifting feel like that of Mario Kart, with the increased speed boost when drifting for certain periods of time. Mario Kart does visualization of where to go really well. This through a mini-map, straightforward map design, and arrows when going the wrong way. Thinking of these three, due to the layout of the university campus, only one can realistically be achieved, and that is arrows to point in the direction of your next checkpoint. For kart driving games, I looked into the feel of racing games and the look of the karts. A general consensus of how kart racing games feel has been established, and this is what will be used to create the mechanics for this game. The feel of driving is normally quite light, with non-complex controls, with drifting and turning feeling quite interesting with less friction for speed loss. A simplistic kart, those typically associated with a backyard style kart build, would be the visualization style chosen. For the feedback last week, the size of the kart and exploration was put into question. Consideration has been put into the size aspect of the kart compared to the campus, and it feels sort of like a Bug's Life is a size ratio that is hopefully going to be achieved, with the kart feeling more like a remote controlled one instead of an actual kart. The exploration aspect feels quite minimal. This has been received. Coins around the map will now be used to upgrade or customize your car. Due to the time restraints, these upgrades will be limited to the functionality of the car, for example the engine speed and braking. Advanced Tech Update 3. In my final update, my focus has shifted away from the Mario Kart style-esque racing system. Although this would be nice to have, I cannot seem to find any tutorials or information on how to do this properly. Playing in the bottom right is a demo of the current game. General map layout. In the past 2 weeks, I've managed to recreate the P block of the campus. Looking into carts, I've tried looking for tutorials and other help on how to make a cartoony feeling kart in Unreal. However, no tutorials are really of help, and the ones I've followed have so many issues it's not worth pursuing. I found carts on the Fab marketplace, however they cost money. If I deem it worth it to purchase one of these carts, I may do so, as I believe it will complete the feel of the navigational system. Level design elements. Although I haven't leaned heavily into this aspect currently, I've set up simple collectibles that just increase a player's score. I've also created portals which teleport players to differing floors. Although unrealistic, I believe it's the best way with a driving system. Before submission, these are some of the things I'd like to focus on. Level elements. I would like to lean heavily into the level element side of the game, as this will also be able to help answer the research question. One idea is to include a shop system to be able to upgrade your vehicle in some capacity. Another idea is directions to rooms. Although this will be hard to implement, I believe it will complete the navigation side. Hidden secrets in rooms will promote the player to explore rooms in hopes to find secrets. These could just be basic cosmetics for the vehicles, such as differing wheel colour. Starting the report and more focus towards the research question. I need to focus on looking into level design elements for both the report and to put more focus into the research question. Navigation will be a big part of the report, so more focus must be paid into how this can be incorporated into the game.